this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder the Capital One bank guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also talk about how most Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One, N.A., member FDIC.
Tax season has arrived, and doing taxes without the right help can feel overwhelming. Intuit TurboTax is here now to guide you through it with confidence. Match with a TurboTax full-service expert who handles everything for you from start to finish. Your dedicated expert checks every single deduction and credit to help you get the best possible outcome so you can feel confident you're getting every dollar you deserve. And the best part? You'll see real-time updates on your expert's progress right on your phone while you live your life. Plus, you get unlimited expert help at no extra cost, even on nights and weekends during tax season. Visit TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax full-service experts. Real-time updates only on iOS mobile app.
Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you? Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I am Josh Clark, and with me is Charles W. Chuck Bryant.
I knew you were I was waiting for it.
You had no idea I was
Well,
going to do
I
that.
didn't know that, but I knew there was some sort of reggae thing coming up.
That was off the cuff, too.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
It really was.
All right.
I thought about it, and my stomach got all butterfly-ish, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to do it. And I did it.
A+.
Thank you. Chuck, how you doing?
I'm great.
You're feeling good today, aren't you?
I've been under the weather.
Again?
Yeah, I just don't feel quite right. Like if 10 is feeling great and 1 is sick, I'm at like a 5 or a 6.
Wow. Is it that staph infection still?
I don't know what the deal is.
I would imagine that would have lasting effects after, it's not like a normal stomach bug.
Sure.
It's like a stomach terrorist.
Yeah.
Our podcast is on a watch list now that I just said that.
Is it?
I think so.
Does that mean more audience?
Possibly. At least the NAS will be listening.
Good.
Chuck.
Yes.
Back in my hippie days, there was this question that was on everyone's mind. There was a piece of knowledge that wasn't passed around adequately among the hippie counterculture that I was hanging out with.
Okay.
And that was exactly how to dread your hair if you didn't have kinky or curly hair.
So the people that did that kept it a guarded secret?
Or else they didn't tell anybody, or they were vague when they did tell.
Sure.
What I suspect is, based on the my experience with humorless hippie people,
Sure.
They did say, because they didn't want to overtly make themselves look like jerks and say, I'm not telling.
Right.
They would just be very vague and unhelpful.
Plus, they probably don't want to make it seem like it took too much work,
That's probably part of it as well.
Because that's not as cool if you had to, work at it 3 or 4 hours a day.
Or if your mom was helping you on a Saturday night in the kitchen.
Exactly. You're like, it's just going to happen, man.
So I remember having this conversation with this friend of mine who actually ended up on TV later on, because I guess the dreads didn't work out. He had a TV show on HGTV, actually.
Really?
Yeah. It was called Bushwhacked.
Huh.
He went and guerrilla garden people's landscapes.
That's awesome.
Anyway, he was talking to me once, and he was playing with his hair, and I noticed that it was really, really greasy. Mm-hmm. Hadn't been washed in several days, greasy.
This is when he had dreads?
No, he was trying to get, I asked him, what are you doing with your hair?
Right.
And he's like, I'm trying to dread it. And I was like, you actually have to wash it, man, because that grease is keeping it from tangling. And I remember this look coming over his face like, wow,
Right.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah.
That was the closest I ever came to being able to explain how dreadlocks work until today. Now, after years of wondering, and then even more years of not caring,
Yeah.
we get to the point where I finally understand how dreadlocks are formed among white people, especially.
Yeah, sure. And I think the history is a little more interesting
Than my stupid anecdote?
than the actual process. But we'll cover the process too, because there's people out there right now that are wondering.
It behooves us. There are 19, 20-year-olds out there who have greasy hair and
Sure.
can't figure out why it's not dreading.
Right? Or they put gasoline. You ever hear that?
No.
That was a very bad rumor that gasoline in your hair helped it knot up. Not true. Do not put gasoline in your hair.
Helps your hair catch on fire.
Yeah. I'm
So,
sure that
Chuck,
happened more than once.
All right. So, Chuck, you were saying about the history of the dreadlock. What
Yeah.
are we talking about?
We were talking about the history of the dreadlocks.
How's that for a comeback? I can't wait to hear how Jerry edits that.
Good luck. So, Josh, prehistoric humans probably had some form of dreadlock from the neglect method of forming dreadlocks.
Yes.
Letting it tangle up,
Yeah.
letting it do its own thing,
Uh-huh.
and mat up and weave itself into dreads.
Right. And right about here, I think people are going to have a question like, well, didn't people who, lived in prehistoric eras, they didn't wash their hair, so how did their hair dread? Why wasn't their hair greasy? You want to know the answer to that I've heard?
I do.
Prehistoric people lived out in the woods and slept on the ground, and leaves and dirt got in their hair and actually carried the grease away.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Is that true?
That's what I've heard. I didn't do my standard intensive research for this particular podcast, so I don't know that that's true, but
Right. Let's go with that.
That's a Josh theory.
I like it.
Thanks.
Well, dude, they have discovered mummies, Peruvian mummies, as old as 200 to 800 AD,
Right?
had dreads.
Well,
And more recently than that, Aztec priests in the 14th and 15th century had the matted dreads.
right.
Yes.
And they're not all. There's also contemporary groups, religious groups specifically. Dreads tend to pop up, it turns out, as a sign of religious devotion in a lot of cases, right?
Yeah, the fact this is God's body, and even grooming it would not be an aesthetic vow. So if you take that aesthetic vow, you're not going to do anything to your body.
Right. You're just leaving your hair to do what it will naturally, right?
Exactly.
And so who do we have? I know the Coptic Church in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Priests in that church still
Christian
dread
too.
their hair,
Uh-huh.
right?
I say that as if Christians
You're
are
like, holy
anti-dread.
cow. There's Christians in Africa?
In India, the Sadhu sect of Hinduism, they have the old dreads in honor of Shiva.
Wouldn't it be weird to see an Indian guy with dreads?
I've seen dreads on so many different kinds of people now, I don't think anything would surprise
No,
me.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I think one of the few ethnic groups that I've not seen dreads on are South Asians.
Yeah, well, and actually, like, in Japan, it's pretty popular now, but...
Yeah, I've seen Asians with dreads. I've never seen an Indian.
Interesting.
Yeah, with dreadlocks. That's why I'm like,
Let's call for listener mail right now. If you are of Indian descent,
And you have dreadlocks.
please send in a photo.
That's right.
Okay. Now back to the show. Rasta Buddhist in Japan, that's what we were just talking about. Members of the black Muslim Bay Fall sect in Senegal.
Right?
Maoris in New Zealand, our Kiwi friends.
Maoris?
Isn't it Maori?
I don't know.
I'm going to go with Maori.
Okay.
And different African tribes wear dreadlocks. Angola, Namibia, places like that.
Right. And the Rastas, right?
Well, yeah, sure.
So when you think of dreadlocks, you think of Bob Marley, and when you think of Bob Marley, you think of reggae and Rastafarianism, basically, right?
Among other things.
Yeah, I left one thing out, didn't I?
Yeah.
And he was pretty much the poster boy for dreadlocks and Rastafarianism, and he almost, you don't want to say single-handedly, but he was a large force in introducing dreadlocks to the West.
Sure.
And the symbolism, the mythology behind them, and behind how it was associated with Rastafarianism, which, it turns out, Jamaican Rastafarianism isn't that old.
Yeah, I thought it was much older than, 80 years?
Yeah, it came out of the 30s when Haile Selassie the First was throned emperor of Japan. Of Japan. Did you know that?
So.
Of
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, right. And there apparently a sect of Jamaicans believed him to be the Messiah.
Right.
And built a religion, Rastafarianism, around him.
Exactly. And the dreadlocks are a big part of that because they feel that it has to do with keeping you in a pure state as God created you as well. Mm-hmm. And they point to Samson in the Bible, even though we're going to get to that. That's a myth.
Yes.
So they say. And they also, it was sort of rebelling against the European invasion of the world.
Right. the imperialism, European imperialism. And the author of this article, Matt Saylor, who I do not know, do you?
No.
Must be a freelancer. Matt Saylor points out that it's rooted in the idea of the West as a place of captivity and Africa as paradise. And as you were saying, it kind of rebels against European ideals of beauty.
Yeah.
Right? Or it did at the time.
Like, we're not going to have the lustrous blonde hair, fine hair.
Exactly.
We're going to grow it together matted clumps.
Right.
And we're going to be proud of it.
In your face.
In your face.
And it's possible that the Rastafarians were inspired by the Mau Mau tribe.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know, is where it came from.
Well, this is possibly where it came from. The Mau Mau are located in Kenya, and they were a tribe that rose up against British colonial rule.
Right.
And actually, there's a Magnum PI episode that puts Jonathan Higgins in the middle of a Mau Mau uprising.
Really?
In the 50s, yeah. You should see that one. It's good.
That sounds familiar. I think I might have, actually.
There's a guy with a spear. There's like a Mau Mau warrior that's stalking the estate, the Robin's Nest, as it's called.
Yeah.
Anyway, they think that they were inspired by the Mau Mau in their uprising against British colonial rule, which makes a lot of sense. And they also think that this may be where the name dreadlock came from, right?
Yeah, that it inspired dread in the hearts of the British soldiers.
Right. And it's possible that it's not necessarily attached to the Mau Mau, that Rastafarians realized that it possibly inspired dread in the hearts of Westerners.
Right. It's always dread in the heart.
Dread in the, yeah. You're not going to feel that anywhere. Maybe
just in the heart.
Maybe the stomach.
Stomach dread in the loins of the British soldiers.
Right.
Loin dread is the worst, Josh.
It is.
So dreadlocks today, they spread. Obviously, you said Bob Marley had a lot to do with that, with his popularity.
So I'm told.
In the 1970s. You know, I posted a Bob Marley video on the Facebook page one day, and I got killed for it.
Why?
I didn't know that there were so many anti-reggae people out there. And I'm not Mr. Reggae, like, at all. But I like a little Bob every now and then.
Sure.
And as did some people, but some people are like, I can't believe you posted this. Reggae is the worst.
How are you? No.
Yeah.
That's not correct.
Well, thank you.
That's really weird. I don't think I've heard of people who are like, nah, I'm not really into reggae. Like, it seems like one of those music genres that's not really polarizing. It's either you kind of like it or you're really into it. Not you're really into it or you hate it.
They hated it.
That's crazy.
I think they were,
Are you sure they weren't confusing it with country music?
Oh, maybe so.
Maybe. They thought Bob Marley's a country music guy.
So he and his Wailers in the 70s made it very popular in the United States. And
actually everywhere throughout the world.
Sure, he made it popular on one hand, but it also increased the anti-dreadlock. I wouldn't say it's a movement, but like with the whole marijuana thing, and it was tied to, some people would say, like drug use.
How so?
Well, the Rastafarians, they like their pot.
Explain.
From what I'm told. Needs no explanation.
Huh.
And the writer, Mr. Dreamsailor, also pointed out that movies like Marked for Death and Predator 2,
both released in 1990,
actually had something to do because they depicted menacing gangs with dreadlocks. I don't know about that.
I don't know if they hastened it or else if they were maybe born out of, some sort of public view of dreadlockianism.
Yeah.
Sure. But it's a good point. Like, he's saying we used to view people with dreadlocks as menacing drug dealers who corrupted children.
Or dirty.
Now we view them as, wealthy kids who go to college.
And, follow fish around on tour.
Yeah.
Because that's popular.
So, Chuck, let's say you are an aspiring fish tour kid, right? Is Fish even on tour any longer? Did they get back together and break up and get back together again?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Support for the show comes from Public, the investing platform for those who take it seriously. On Public, you can build a multi-asset portfolio of stocks, bonds, options, crypto, and now generated assets, which allow you to turn any idea into an investable index with AI. It all starts with your prompt. From renewable energy companies with high free cash flow to semiconductor suppliers growing revenue over 20% year over year, you can literally type any prompt and put the AI to work. It screens thousands of stocks, builds a one-of-a-kind index, and lets you backtest it against the S&P 500. Then, you can invest in a few clicks. Generated assets are like EFTs with infinite possibilities, completely customizable and based on your thesis, not someone else's. Go to public.com/podcast and earn an uncapped 1% bonus when you transfer your portfolio. That's public.com/podcast. Paid for by Public Investing. Brokerage services by Open to the Public Investing, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services by Public Advisors LLC. SEC registered advisor. Generated assets is an interactive analysis tool. Output is for informational purposes only and is not investment recommendation or advice. Complete disclosures available at public.com/disclosures.
Every great idea deserves the power to bring it to life. Meet the all-new Dell XPS laptop, the perfect combination of style, power, and performance, designed to elevate everything you do. With its modern ultra-thin design, it's as stunning as it is functional. And the battery? It's built to last all day long, from that first sip of coffee to your evening wind down without missing a beat. And when it comes to performance, the XPS doesn't just keep up, it leads the way. Whether you're tackling your biggest projects or bringing your creative vision to life, it's built for editing photos, mixing tracks, and designing masterpieces. Powered by the Series 3 Intel Core Ultra processors, the XPS gives you the freedom to create without limits all day long. The Dell XPS proves there's no need to compromise. Style, power, and reliability come together in one expertly crafted machine. Check out the all-new Dell XPS at dell.com/XPS.
Let's say you're following somebody, string cheese incident, let's say, right? You got your hula hoop and your little fairy wings, and you're like, it's time for me to take the third step, which is to dread my hair.
Right.
Right? And you want to get things started. And we'll talk about how to do it with kinky hair and with straight hair, right?
Yeah, much easier with kinky hair.
Let's start from the beginning. What's step one? Because there's literally a step-by-step list of instructions in this article.
Step one, Josh?
Yeah.
Which is what your friend did not do. You got to wash your hair.
Yeah.
And you got to dry it.
Yes.
That's the very first thing you do.
And a really good recommendation is to wash your hair with a very natural type of shampoo.
You should be doing that
because those
anyway.
things strip your hair.
Yeah.
And you want your hair stripped and dried,
Right.
basically. You don't want any residue on it whatsoever.
None.
Certainly no grease.
No grease. Step two, Josh, you want to divide it into sections. And by sections, what we mean is when you pull a clump of your hair together, and you can either clamp it with something, or you can just do one section at a time, or you can separate it all out.
Right. Well, you want to clamp it at the end, the tip.
Well, yeah, but what you got to remember is make little squares, basically, so you can see your scalp in a little square, and that's
Right.
a section.
Right.
But each section, in theory, will end up being its own dreadlock.
Right.
So if you want 5 huge dreadlocks, then you're going to have 5 sections, but you don't want that.
Well, some people do.
Well, yeah, sure. Some people let them grow together. You ever seen those, like the beaver tail?
Sure.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. They're impenetrable.
We'll talk about that in a minute,
Yes,
actually.
we will.
Step 3, Josh, is, like I said, pay attention to the size of the section.
Right. Like you said, when you pull your hair, it should form pretty much a perfect square.
Yeah.
And the bigger the square, the bigger the dread's going to be.
Yes.
Right? So that's kind of your rule of thumb.
Exactly. Step 4 is you want to add a little product.
And this is probably the most contentious step.
Yeah, because some people are purists, right? They don't do that.
Some people just use a little water.
Right.
Some people say wax. A lot of people say wax. Aloe.
Cream.
Yeah. This is we should say this is for kinky hair.
Is it?
Well, yeah. Aloe and cream is for sure.
Okay. Well, and they say the Rastafarians are really the purest, and they only use purified water too.
Right.
So they're not putting wax in their hair.
But if you use straight hair and you're going to use product, you should use wax.
Okay. Where are we? Step 5? You want to start twisting in a clockwise direction, and the reason you do that is so you always remember which direction you've started, because if one day you go to palm roll it counterclockwise, you're going to start undoing your dreads unknowingly. And when you twist your hair lock, you want to clip it at the end, And explain backcombing, because I don't fully understand this.
Oh, it's easy. Have you ever approached a cat and it was just sitting there? It looks all happy and content, and you're like, I hate cats. So you pet it the opposite way of the way its hair goes.
Yes, cats don't like that.
No, they don't. It's hilarious
because it rubs them the wrong way. That's where the phrase comes from.
Yeah. This is pretty much the basis of backcombing. So what you do is you have your tight product, counterclockwise rolled hair.
Yes.
Actually, we should say this is for straight hair. You don't backcomb kinky hair.
Okay.
So you haven't hand rolled your hair yet if it's straight, but you have some product in it. You have your segments that are eventually going to become dreads. Maybe it's clipped at the bottom.
Okay.
What you're doing is you're taking a fine-toothed metal comb.
Okay.
You're holding the tip of the hair and you're combing it upward all the way to the root. And you keep doing this again and again and again until basically you really can't get the comb up through the hair any longer because you've just tangled it so badly. And then you move on to the next segment and do that again and again until basically what you're doing is you're just jump-starting your dreadlocks.
Well, yeah, we say jumpstart because if you want dreadlocks tomorrow, you're out of luck.
Not necessarily. You can pay through the nose and probably be made fun of in certain circles.
A loctician?
To go to a loctician who will use a crocheting kit.
Yeah,
crochet your hair.
Did they
together.
really look like dreads or they look like braids?
I don't know. It probably depends on how messy the loctician makes them look.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that's not genuine and they don't look like real dreadlocks.
Well, yeah. If you're one of those people who will only wash your dreads in natural, pure water and that's it, you're probably not going to go to a loctician.
I'm a purist, Josh.
Are you?
That's how I roll.
Okay.
So if you are a purist and you don't want to go to a loctician and pay a lot of money and look silly, then it's going to take a while, and it ranges depending on your hair, the texture of your hair, anywhere from a few months to like a year sometimes.
Right, and for kinky hair, there's actually a couple of stages. The budding stage is where the locks really start to kind of intertwine. This lasts anywhere from like 2 months to 6 months, right?
Right.
And then at the end of that, that budding stage where it's really starting to kind of like knot close to the scalp.
Right.
It'll start growing out and it'll keep knotting as it grows out.
Right.
What you have, my friend, is called a dreadlock. You're in the locking stage, aka the point of no return.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And since you mentioned the root, you don't want to, tangle it too close to your scalp because it can actually break off and like kill that knot. So you want to.
It can also really hurt.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Give you the old headache. Mm-hmm. You want to have a little bit of space there so your hair can still grow normally. And this is something I didn't know, but it makes perfect sense. As your hair grows and dies, it just becomes part of the dread.
Right.
So it's not like when you see a 14-inch dreadlock, all that goes back to the root of the scalp.
Right.
Well, most of that is dead hair.
Yeah, it just kind of like gets caught up and it never falls out. You can't shed.
It's pretty cool.
And you're certainly not cutting your hair off, so.
We should say what palm rolling is. I think we mentioned that twice, and we didn't really say what it was.
So let's say you decided to use wax or something like that. Let's go with wax because that seems to be the best thing.
Okay.
You put a little on your dread and you roll it in that clockwise position again. It's
Between your
basically
hands?
basically just maintenance and encouragement of those tangled knots to stay tangled.
That's a lot of work, man.
It is. So all that was for you. We entered the locking stage with kinky hair. With straight hair, you want to keep applying wax a few times a week. Actually, after the initial tangling,
The initial waxing.
yes,
Well, and they said too to blow dry it so the wax actually kind of melts into your hair.
yes.
Yeesh.
So we'll get to that. Let's talk about how to do this. There's something that a lot of people don't understand, and that is that if you have mature dreadlocks, let's say it's been 6 months to 2 years,
Yeah.
you've got your actual dreads going, they're all looking sharp. If you don't take care of your hair, you're gonna have all sorts of little critters growing in it.
Well, sure.
AKA mildew.
Yes.
Is a big problem actually.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people wash their hair with like tea tree oil based soap because it'll get in there and kill it. It's an antimicrobial.
Well, and that's also from improper drying too.
Right. So when you wash your hair, right, a lot of times, especially when you're washing it while it's in the budding or locking stages, they're not mature dreadlocks.
Yeah.
You want to put a pantyhose on your head.
Son, you got a panty on your head?
Right. And you want to basically just let the water go through. Right.
Soak
You
in
don't
there.
want to
Yeah.
get your fingers in there. You want to keep your fingers out of there.
Right.
Let the hair go through, wash it with tea tree oil, soap. And then when you get out, the drying part, this is very important. You squeeze it out.
Yeah.
Wring them out. Especially if they're mature, you can wring them out more easily.
Sure.
If they're not mature, possibly you just roll them in your pantyhose. And then you blow dry the heck out of them until they're totally dry.
Right.
The funny thing is there are very few blow dryers on tour.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah.
So you're saying they have mildewy heads? He's nodding. Hair care products. This is sort of, again, like with all things, if you're a purist, you're not into it at all. And everyone has their own things they use, from like hot oil treatments to gels and saltwater accelerator and stuff like that to like really tighten them up.
Right.
Lenny Kravitz style.
Again, if you are washing your hair using a product and you don't want to use the standard, leaves your hair silky and lustrous, because it leaves your hair silky and lustrous by basically encasing the hair in like some sort of substance that keeps it from tangling with other stuff. So that's the opposite of what you want with dreads.
A chemical agent, probably.
That's the European standard of beauty.
Yeah. Josh, if you sleep, you should wear like a bandana or one of those cool knit caps or a pillowcase, so you don't like crush your dreadlocks and misshape them, unless that's what you're going for.
Right. And you're talking about dreadlocks that they'll eventually weave together into one big dread.
Yeah, if you want.
If you want that, go for it. Just don't keep them separate. But if you don't want that, you should probably be aware that your dreads are eventually going to go to that place. So you want to kind of keep them separate, rolled apart.
Right.
That's part of regular maintenance.
Josh, you have dreadlocks and you don't want them any longer. Do you have to shave your head?
Pretty much.
No, not true.
You pretty much do.
No, I've known people that got rid of their dreads through a lot of work and combing. Actually, remember the Kristen who wrote in
with the son Sully?
Yeah,
yes.
Long time ago.
Of course I remember.
She's an artist. She had dreadlocks and she got rid of them because I remember she sent in another picture like 8 months later or something, and she had like lustrous European beauty hair.
Really?
Yeah, and she said that she was able to like use like lots of conditioner, I think, and comb it out, and I think it takes a long time.
Huh.
So you don't have to shave your head.
You probably will, though.
Probably will.
I would imagine it probably depends on a couple of things, like how long the distance between your scalp and the start of the real dread is.
Right.
And if it's close to the scalp, you probably are going to have to cut them off and shave your head to make it even.
Yeah, I think you would want to. Like, after having dreadlocks for that long, why, like, untangle them just to have a big mop of hair? Like, just go the opposite. That's what I say.
Yes. And it's funny that this is brought up because I was recently reading about your Balkan vampires. And apparently one...
Some light reading.
You just laughed at me.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't know that you were into that.
Well, I'm not. It was in Harper's.
Okay.
It was interesting, though.
Sure.
Anyway, the author was talking about how this one particular type of vampire in Croatia was known to braid the manes of horses so tight that they couldn't be detangled. And if you cut it off, it was so close to the neck, it would kill a horse.
Really?
That's what I hear.
That's awful.
Support for the show comes from Public, the investing platform for those who take it seriously. On Public, you can build a multi-asset portfolio of stocks, bonds, options, crypto, and now generated assets, which allow you to turn any idea into an investable index with AI. It all starts with your prompt. From renewable energy companies with high free cash flow to semiconductor suppliers growing revenue over 20% year over year, you can literally type any prompt and put the AI to work. It screens thousands of stocks, builds a one-of-a-kind index, and lets you backtest it against the S&P 500. Then, you can invest in a few clicks. Generated assets are like EFTs with infinite possibilities, completely customizable and based on your thesis, not someone else's. Go to public.com/podcast and earn an uncapped 1% bonus when you transfer your portfolio. That's public.com/podcast. Paid for by Public Investing. Brokerage services by Open to the Public Investing, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services by Public Advisors LLC. SEC registered advisor. Generated assets is an interactive analysis tool. Output is for informational purposes only and is not investment recommendation or advice. Complete disclosures available at public.com/disclosures.
Every great idea deserves the power to bring it to life. Meet the all-new Dell XPS laptop, the perfect combination of style, power, and performance, designed to elevate everything you do. With its modern, ultra-thin design, it's as stunning as it is functional. And the battery? It's built to last all day long, from that first sip of coffee to your evening wind down without missing a beat. And when it comes to performance, the XPS doesn't just keep up, it leads the way. Whether you're tackling your biggest projects or bringing your creative vision to life, it's built for editing photos, mixing tracks, and designing masterpieces. Powered by the Series 3 Intel Core Ultra processors, the XPS gives you the freedom to create without limits all day long. The Dell XPS proves there's no need to compromise. Style, power, and reliability come together in one expertly crafted machine. Check out the all-new Dell XPS at dell.com/XPS.
So, Josh, you want to end up with some myths and truths?
Yes.
Did we cover everything else?
Yeah.
Samson had dreadlocks in the Bible. True or not?
I'm going to go with myth.
You're right.
Thanks.
Samson did have the long hair.
I don't know if you noticed or not, but all of these were myths.
Yeah, they are, actually. You just ruined it, though. Samson did have the long hair, apparently, where he got all his strength and all that stuff.
Right.
But they said it was more likely like ornamental braids and not dreadlocks.
More likely, though, we don't know.
Josh, ancient Celts and Egyptians had dreadlocks. Myth or not?
True.
It's a myth.
Oh.
And this came from artwork. Ancient artwork was misinterpreted, basically, over the years. And the Egyptians, I think, shaved their head and wore headdresses made out of braided hair. Mm-hmm. Easily confused.
Yeah.
Josh.
Yes.
Dreadlocks can stop bullets.
This has not been tested. I know Bob Marley was shot like 8 times once in an assassination attempt and survived that. It's possible that his dreads deflected it.
Interesting.
But a very tight weave has been shown to deflect bullets.
Yeah, just last year.
Uh-huh.
That lady, I remember, I think we talked about it on the webcast.
No, you blogged about it.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
She was shot in the weave?
Yeah. And it stopped a bullet.
Well, in theory, because the way dreads work, it's like jute rope or like a woven rug. Each hair is intertwined,
right.
And that's sort of how when we did the bulletproof vests, it's a similar theory, just a really tightly woven fibers.
Right. Very strong fibers, but the weave is definitely part of it, a huge part of it.
You need to get one of those guys with the big beaver tail dread, and just hold it out and shoot a gun through it and see what he says.
He'd be like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that?"
And finally, Josh, dreadlocks can be donated to charity, cut off and donated, just like regular hair.
I'm gonna say that that's a myth.
That is a myth. Locks of Love and Wigs for Kids do not accept dreadlocks. And you can actually get fired for having dreadlocks. Did you know that?
Yes, this makes sense to me. There's a lot of discrimination that corporations can still exercise against their employees.
Yeah.
And one of them is if you don't appear clean, you can be fired. You can be fired if you are too fat, in your company's opinion.
Really?
Yeah. There are, in this particular article, though, Dreamseller makes a point that if you are a Rastafarian, a practicing Rastafarian, and they fire you because your dreads, you've got a pretty good lawsuit on your hands.
Yeah.
But if you're just some kid with dreads and they fire you because of your dreads, you're going to be fired.
Go back to selling T-shirts out of your van.
Yes.
In the parking lot of the fish show. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got nothing else.
Nor do I. So if you want to learn more about dreadlocks, seriously, this is one of the most helpful articles I've seen. Steps 1 through 6 of how to make dreads. There's another 8 or 10 steps in dreadlock hair care. It's really one you should go to if you want to know how to make dreads, if you want to make dreads out of your hair. Go check out how dreadlocks work in the search bar at howstuffworks.com, which means it's time for listener mail.
Yes, Josh, I am going to call this from Eddie, who hopes things get better. Hi, my name is Eddie. I'm 15, almost 16, in the 10th grade. The comment you made about how it will only get better if I just hold on and work through high school was something I really needed to hear.
Awesome.
With friendships that I have no idea what's going on to work that keeps piling on, I was worried I would be stuck like this after school ended. The news about the real world being a lot worse than high school doesn't give me easy thoughts, so I'm glad to get a different viewpoint. Thank you. And I will take this opportunity now, Josh, to mention the It Gets Better project, because we didn't even know about this when we mentioned that.
No, if you were listening to us mention that, I don't remember what podcast it was.
Transgender, I think.
No, it was Jealousy, I think. We were talking about high school and kids killing themselves in high school.
Was it?
And we didn't mention the It Gets Better campaign. We just pretended like we made it up ourselves. When we recorded it, the It Gets Better campaign had been launched like the day before, and we hadn't heard of it yet, honestly. So
yeah, that's true.
We aren't, yeah.
We weren't shirking it. Right. So, along those lines, we want to give it an official plug. It is a project called itgetsbetterproject.com, and it is targeted at LGBT youth. Mm-hmm. Right now, my personal hope is that they expand that to include anyone who feels like an outsider.
Yeah.
In any way. That's just me, though.
Specifically, anyone who feels like an outsider in high school.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Because if you feel like an outsider as an adult, you're...
I mean high school outsiders. But it's a really great program founded by Dan Savage in September. And users can upload videos of themselves, testimonials, as adults talking to kids saying that, trust me, it gets better. Hang in there.
Yeah, and everybody's been doing it. I know Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton both have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. What about Karl Rove and Dick Cheney?
They actually did one together. It was so cute and
sweet.
Adorable. They're so playful together.
So that was from Eddie, and if you want to check out Eddie on YouTube, he has a YouTube channel called Comic Dud, and he draws comics for that channel. And you can go there and see what Eddie has to say. Okay. And Eddie, it does get better. Trust me, buddy.
Thank you for that, Eddie. And if you have a photo of an Asian Indian with dreadlocks, we want to see it. Send it to stuffpodcast at howstuffworks.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com. The howstuffworks.com iPhone app is coming soon. Get access to our content in a new way. Articles, videos, and more, all on the go. Check out the latest podcasts and blog posts, and see what we're saying on Facebook and Twitter. Coming soon to iTunes. Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you?
The NFL playoffs are here, and Wild Card Weekend, powered by Verizon, is in full swing.
Man, it all comes down to this.
The stakes are high, hopes are higher, and everything is on the line.
My goodness!
It's win or go home, and every moment counts on the road to Super Bowl 60.
It's a touchdown!
Wild Card Weekend, powered by Verizon. Through Monday. Visit watch.nfl.com for the full schedule.
These days, it seems like AI agents are just about everywhere you turn, every field and every function. But without identity, you can't trust they'll serve your business instead of jeopardizing it. Fortunately, Okta helps you get identity right by securing your AI agents' identities, giving you a single layer of control, a single standard of trust. So whether an AI agent supports a single user or your entire enterprise, with Okta, you'll turn risk into opportunity. Secure every agent. Secure any agent. Okta secures AI.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.